Good morning, comrades. You're listening to WHIVLP New Orleans 102.3. We have Jeff and Robert back on the show. We also have a very special guest, Suliman. Suliman, you want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the show. So I'm Suleiman Hamid. I'm a civil engineer in training right now. I work. I've been working for like 3 years. I graduated from LSU.
Go
You know,
Tigers.
yes sir, yes sir. Go Saints too. Um, let's see. So there's been a lot on my mind these last few days. Um, I guess to start out, we've been. I'm from New Orleans. We born and raised. My mother, I attribute all my success to her. She was taken by the IDF on Sunday night, so it's been about like in about an hour. It'll be 72 hours, and I really want to thank the community. They've been so supportive. Like I didn't even imagine this kind of response. Everybody from people I haven't talked to for years, from high school, from just all over. People that even just stopped talking to me for whatever reason. They even reached out, reposted. Like the support has been phenomenal. And again, getting back to the story, she was taken from her home Sunday night in Palestine. It was Monday morning over there. There's an 8-hour time difference. Just like if you see the video, it's literally an abduction. They come in, they blow up the door. Uh, she takes a lot of medication, so she was drowsy. They might give a couple knocks, you don't answer, they just blow down the door. I'm sure that there's no way she could have heard it. Um, so they barge in on her, they handcuff her, blindfold her, step all over our prayer mats, completely just disrespect our religion, our home, everything. They just go around breaking everything. Like our home, it took so much. Like I'm still like, oh, like let me not say what I was about to say. But anyways, they just trashed our home and took
Yeah,
her. And it's very frustrating because the amount of effort, money, time we put into that place, first of all, and obviously our mother's the number one priority. Like
of
they had
course.
no respect for her. They didn't even let her wear her hijab. Like, they know they're doing it on purpose. Like they're doing it as like a humiliation tactic, 100%.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the story. They took her, and to make matters worse, they did not notify the U.S. So they say that they arrested her, they did not kidnap her. They detained her.
Mhm.
Um, if
Which is fairly
that's
common. Which is fairly common
right,
for Israel when they say that they have. They'll
right,
often arrest quote unquote civilians, and oftentimes also. Not, I mean, not to I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but not to say that this is not like a horrible thing that's happening to you right now. But like this is something that happens so much to even children in
hmm,
Israel, and it's
oh
it's
yeah,
one of these sorts of things where we definitely I guess most sort of mainstream folks don't realize it. But anyway, continue.
right. I'm glad you brought that up, and I was gonna bring that up later. That, and I guess I'll just say it now. Give the little headliner maybe, but this is a chapter, a small chapter in the Palestinian struggle. Like they have oppressed us, humiliated us, done this on so much worse levels. Like obviously they're killing kids and women left and right. Um, and so like you said, like she's lucky enough to be American. She's lucky enough to be a woman. She's lucky enough to that they. And I'm gonna get into more detail in a second. That'll explain some more of this. But the fact that she's those things, this is taking it easy on her. So that video, if you're outraged, if you're this is like the lowest like amount that they do.
Hmm.
So that's one thing too, and like so they violated international law. There's anytime they arrest a U.S. citizen, they're supposed to. I was told by a lawyer today that they're supposed to notify the U.S. within 24 hours. They didn't do that, and when we informed the U.S. and we went on the social media campaign, and my brother's tweet went viral
Hmm.
on former Twitter, now X. It went viral, got 1.5 million views. Our congressman, within less than 24 hours, knew about it and tweeted about it that he was looking into the matter. So, for all those people that say, talking doesn't matter, like skid it,
Yeah.
like all that's bullshit. Like, no, do something, keep talking, keep exposing them. So,
Mm.
it made a big difference for us. And yeah, so we were told again that they violated that thing. They were supposed to let the U.S. know. The U.S. did not know. And then on top of that, the U.S. Embassy has been almost little to no help. Like it's almost like every time we call multiple times, and they're like annoyed when we call. They're like, dude, we told you, like, we'll let you know when we have an update. It's been over 48 hours yesterday, and no update, no location, no status. We don't know if she's alive. We don't know anything. Like, it's
Mm.
ridiculous. We have to hear word of mouth from villagers. Like, oh yeah, we heard like she might be in this area getting questioned. Like, what? Like, why? What's the charge? What's the like? It's it's frustrating. It's really upsetting.
I can't imagine what you're going through right now, and like I want to, be as respectful to you during this, like, you know, unimaginably, impossible time for you. So like, yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's I feel I at least hope that us providing you a platform to say some of these sorts of things is helpful for you. I did want to kind of get into the statement that Troy Carter did say on Twitter. So you
Go
said
ahead.
that your mother was kidnapped, essentially. Sorry to be putting it in such
Hmm.
such frank terms, but he says, "quote I'm aware of and extremely concerned by the detainment of some. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, Samaher
Hmm.
Esmail,
That's pretty
and
good. Yeah.
thanks, a resident of his district, second district, Louisiana, in Palestine. I have been in contact with the American Embassy and the State Department to inquire why a U.S. citizen is being held. I am praying for her safety." Which, like, look, I'm glad that he's praying for her safety. I'm glad that he's asking or something like that's.
Hmm.
But like, you're talking about an American citizen. You're talking about a citizen of New Orleans. You're talking about a mother of at least two children, um,
Hmm.
and like, this is somebody who's in your district. Like, you're just like asking questions. Like this
Hmm.
seems like an extremely insufficient response for something that is happening to by a foreign country, Israel, to one of our people, and I mean,
Hmm.
obviously it's your mother. So like that makes it even extra, proximal to you. But like even that, like the fact that they, I mean, it would be horrible if it happened anywhere to anybody, but like, and it does happen,
For
obviously. We
sure.
talked
Yeah.
before, but it's just sort of like one of these sorts of things. We have these like international laws, international norms or whatever. Like, that is not outraged enough, I guess is what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say. You're not doing
I
anything.
agree with you. I agree with you. It almost seems like a lack of urgency from
Yeah.
everybody, like from the U.S. Embassy to our House representative. And look, I don't want to totally like I don't know. Maybe I have too good of a heart. I don't want to totally like crap on him. Basically,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, totally. No.
I feel like he is doing a lot. I feel like it's more so that Israel's being so non-compliant with the situation.
Mhm.
Because him and my brother spoke on the phone, and my brother was fired up. Obviously, like
Of
everyone's fired up.
course.
We're mad. We're upset. Like we're frustrated. And basically the congressman yelled back at my brother, like, "You think I'm not trying to do everything I can?" Like he's fired up too. So I want to give him his credit. I think he's doing a lot, but I agree with you 100%. He needs to do 10 times more. Like, we need to elevate this. We need the mayor talking about this, demanding her citizen. Where like come on, like we need everybody.
Mhm.
Like this is a US citizen, and she's not going to be another statistic to put on a sheet. And like that's what's upsetting. Like, I think like we've all been desensitized like to this whole
Absolutely.
thing. Like literally, you know what happened at first? I posted this, right? 20 people saw it on my Instagram. No one commented. And I was kind of like, I'm not expecting comments, but like I'm like, what?
Mhm.
Like, really? And then one person finally slid up, and they were like, they said, "Is this a repost or that's really your mom?" I was like, "No, that's my mom." And like I put a disclaimer after that. I was like, "No, this is like my mom." And everyone started getting outraged at that point. So the point I'm trying to get at is we're desensitized. I say, you see something about Palestine, like, oh, okay, like that's the norm. Move on.
Yeah.
Next post. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, we shouldn't be desensitized to it. And that's why, like, my mom, she's a hero, and she's gonna go down as a great because she's being a symbol right now. Like right now, it allows it to at least, like, the one positive. I'm optimistic. Like, I'm trying to stay positive. The one good thing that comes out of this is that it's kind of a wake up call for the people here.
Mhm.
Everyone like is devastated. They're like, "What? Like this really happened? Like it's something that happened here in New Orleans at home." They're
Mhm.
like, "Damn, this shit's really happening." Like it's not just a statistic. Oh, 30,000 women and children died in 3 months. Like they don't. There's no feeling towards that. But when they see, oh, this woman who's a businesswoman, she used to be a teacher. She raised her kids like, I'm an engineer. I work for public service. We work on like improving the infrastructure of the city. My brother, he works in the health field. He works on helping the general public. She raised us with those values. Like, she's an amazing woman. Like, I can't stress that enough. And they're gonna like try to say something bad about her. They're gonna try to say, oh, she's
I
I'm
know, man.
frustrated.
I'm sorry, and if I guess the question that comes to mind is, at least sort of like one of the questions that comes to mind. There's many, but like, what is even the stated reason that she's been detained? Is there one? Is
You
it
know
just
what's
like
you
is
know
there
what's
just like we
ridiculous?
just scooped her up because I don't know?
So far, I'm gonna tell you what I know. So far, there has been no official reason from Israel or from our US embassy or our US House rep. There's been no official reason from them. You know what's ridiculous though? That's ridiculous in itself. But what's even more ridiculous is that the news, NBC News and another news station, was able to get a statement from the IDF about my mother and what she's being held for, like you just said, before those people got that information to me. They kept
Mhm.
telling me, no, we have no information. Like, dude, you're telling me this House rep, this like, he can elevate it to the president, to the Secretary of State. All these people can't get me an answer, but NBC News could just go ask their insider, hey, like, why is she being detained? Actually, they got an answer. And that answer, I could find you the exact quote. If I slide up, is it gonna take out this?
Uh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
no, go ahead, go ahead. You're
It's
good.
all right.
Let me try to.
We're fine.
The
But
official reason was something like inciting. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna
no, I
get
was gonna
the.
say why. I would imagine why. I'm spitballing and guessing. There's a
Hmm.
reason why like NBC News has stuff on it, because all that stuff is run through the IDF media censors.
Yeah, there's the
Hmm.
channels and
That yeah,
systems.
so
Yeah.
that they're getting whatever the refined stuff is. But
Hmm.
yeah, why just let us know when you find that. But I was
Yeah,
gonna
so
say why.
I found it.
Okay, cool.
So the IDF spokesperson said that she had been arrested for incitement on social media. So she got arrested
Come
for
on.
she got
Posting on the
kidnapped,
internet.
abducted from her house for posting on the internet, for reposting. She thought, she's an American. She posts here all the time. She literally reposted some things to Facebook, to wherever she posted, and they're telling me now my mother deserves to be taken and that we deserve to be scared. Like, at the worst, like, let's say they want to go question her. Why couldn't you just ask for a warrant? Why couldn't you? She would have came in peacefully. And I'm about to get to something. I'm about to tell y'all something. I don't know if many of y'all know. It's been on some news stations that she was beat by the IDF in December 2022, and they broke her ribs, and they were very hush hush about the whole thing. Yes, they broke it. She was about like a couple years younger. She was 44 at the time. And the story behind that is they were at a checkpoint and they were arresting this 15-year-old kid. And my mom, she has like the sweetest heart that you could ever like imagine. Like, she couldn't stand not doing anything. So she got out the car and like just to intervene. Like, she's not like, she's literally like, she's a fragile like small lady. She gets out the car to intervene, and they hit her with their weapon to the head, push her down, kick her multiple times, and she starts speaking English, and they're like, wait a second. And so by that time the damage was done already,
Mhm.
and they broke her ribs. And then she started yelling she's an American citizen, this and that. And uh long story short, so that's what happened. They beat her, they broke her ribs, and she had to be hospitalized for it. She couldn't move for like 2 3 months. She was supposed to come back like in a, it's like kind of same situation. Like, she was coming back to the States soon, but because she broke her ribs, she couldn't even get on a plane.
Can't travel.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so she was kind of stuck there for months. Um, and again, we like, it's like the whole thing was brushed off. And my mom, look, she's the type, she needs to get justice for herself. Like, she never likes being wrong and someone get away with it. So what did she do? She sued the IDF.
Mm.
Um, and I'm not sure exactly where it went because I'm not 100% clear on the details. Like, she didn't tell me everything, but I know at least she filed a complaint or like filed a suit. Like, she did something. I don't know exactly what it was. So she told me, actually, literally the night that she was taken, 1 hour before she was taken, and I'm not exaggerating. I have text messages. She told me that she was getting ready to go to Israel. She just needed like a little bit more money, and I was gonna send her that money. Um, and she said that she needed to go to Israel to file to she needed to go to Israel to defend herself in court. So you're telling me a few days before that she gets arrested for incitement on social media, Like, come on, man. Like you add it up. Like, you tell me
Yeah,
what
I
you're
mean,
thinking.
Exactly. Yeah.
obviously, like even if you don't have evidence or whatever, like that timeline is fairly suspicious.
I mean,
Very,
You know,
as
very.
somebody who's like plugged into this, this is not the first. To tell our audience, this is not an unusual thing. Like I've heard, I just never thought personally I would meet somebody who would be able to tell me the story even secondhand. But like this is modus operandi. Like I've heard this story so many times. IDF, Galani Brigades beating on some kid. Somebody tries to stop it, and then they get their head caved in. And it's like this happens every day.
That goes back to the original point that I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, Jeff. That's
Mhm.
the point that Jeff said earlier, that this is like, again, this is a small chapter in the book of our struggles and the oppression that we faced. Like, if she wasn't American, if she didn't start speaking English, they were gonna kick her till they crippled her. Like,
Mhm.
y'all don't understand. They don't care. Like, they don't care about it. Like, why? Okay, like, and then idiots on social media will say, like, I've already seen this comment. They'll be like, oh, well, you try to intervene with police in America, see, the same thing's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, one, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Two, like, you might be right, but that's not a good thing. And two, like, shoot, I'm sorry, I'm like, my
Oh,
mind's
you're good,
racing.
man. No,
You
I
are
can't
good.
imagine. But like,
Um,
it's not a good thing. It's not justice. Definitely.
Exactly. That's not just. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, you don't like. Okay, you can eliminate the threat. Like, you could have, like, even if you would have cuffed her in that situation because she intervened. Okay, I could get that. Like, just put her on the side. Like deal with the boy that you're arresting. Why are you
It's
arresting a 15
still
year old
messed
boy?
up.
First of all, it's still, no matter how you paint the picture, it's gonna be messed up. But you didn't have to freaking abuse a woman. Like, why do you have to just? They just beat us while we're down, and they do it over and over and over. Like, they don't care about us, man. They want to eliminate us. They want us not to exist, and that's the difference between Palestinians and I don't want to say Israelis, I want to say the Israeli government, because
Yeah.
I don't have a
Mhm.
problem with Israelis. Most Israelis, look, what people don't understand is that it's kind of like America, right? Like, imagine if, like, someone hated America and they're like, oh, fuck all Americans. No, like, there's a lot of diverse people. There's a lot of cool people. There's a lot of shit people. There's a lot of, like, there's all types of people. And it's the same thing over there. Over 50% of the people in Israel don't agree with their foreign policy. They're not
Mm.
even prioritizing the hostages. Like,
Yeah.
Hamas is willing to give away hostages, and the government is, like, standing. So they're like, no, like, because they don't meet the demands. Like, imagine if that, like, that was Netanyahu's kid. Imagine if that was whatever. They would do whatever they need to get them out of there.
Yeah.
So,
What was it?
so
Was it just yesterday that that Yahoo rejected yet another deal that would be a ceasefire and release hostages? Like
that's right, man.
the thing that's standing in the way between. I'm sorry to like interrupt you, but
No,
like the
no,
thing
go
that's
ahead.
standing in the way from the end of violence in Gaza right now is not Hamas. And like, look, I'm not
That's what
trying
I'm
to like
saying, man.
say anything about like I'm not denouncing or promoting or anything. I'm not saying anything about the qualities of Hamas at all, but
I
like they're
agree.
not what's standing in the way of peace here, or I mean, not even peace, but like the end of active hostilities. But like the Israeli government continues to reject every single option that's put forward that would release every single Israeli hostage. It's so
I,
bananas.
I made that face, Jeff, because we've had conversations. Like, you don't want to ask me what I think about Hamas, but like opinion of them, my sanitized opinion of them in this, it's not a war, in this slaughter,
I'm
genocide
not.
conflict.
Look,
They're the only rational actors.
no.
Like the other side is not rational. They're the only ones that saying these are our terms. Please, like, can we work something out? And they're like, and the other side's like, no, we literally want you all to die.
Yeah.
Not Hamas. We want Palestinians all to die. So it's like one side is rational. You can argue about tactics if you want. The other side is a mad dog.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's 100%
sorry.
right, and it's proven. No, no, go ahead. Like, I love y'all's discussion. Like, I want y'all to add to this. And I'm gonna add to that point. It's like, literally, like, if they think about it, if they were busy fighting terrorists and this and that, like, why are they spending their time on an operation to capture a 46-year-old elderly American
Yeah.
for incitement on social media? Like, come on, bro, y'all don't have better stuff to do?
Right.
And on top of that, like, that's the other story that people didn't get. So yeah, 15, 20 soldiers came and raided my mom's house and took her, but over 200 to 300 soldiers came in that night and raided my village. And you know what they did? All they did is just go in, harass and beat people related to me and other people in the village. Because the village, like most people are like cousins, second cousins, third cousins, or like whatever. Like it's like people that are close. So they went and they beat my cousin. They went and they beat my mom's cousin. They went and like they just literally went and like they're just, man, they're ruthless. They're ruthless.
Yeah. Can I ask
300 soldiers. Go
can
ahead.
I ask what village what it is?
Yeah, Silwad, Palestine. It's close to Ramallah, which is like the big city in Palestine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's not even in Gaza, right?
Oh yeah, no.
That's
This
in
is
the
all
West
in the
Bank,
West.
which
Yeah,
is
this is in the West Bank. This
West
is a
Bank,
colonized area. Like that's the whole problem. Is it's colonized, so they can come in and do this shit. Like that's why we need an independent state. Like we need our own state. They're just, you know what they're trying to do? They're slowly trying. They don't want to agree to the two-state solution because they want to slowly get more and more settlements built. Like they want to kick us out more land first, secure like 85, 90% of the land, and they'll be like, yeah, we'll do a two-state. And like, no, like, come on, man. We have lives, we have homes, we have like, imagine you spend your whole life building a house, and or like just a whole like a house passed on from your grandma's grandma and all this, and they just come take it, man, or they just come like knock it down. It's fucked up, bro.
I can't even.
Yeah, man. Well, I
Like
know
I'd
that
be devastated, man.
well, I want to be respectful of your time, and you said that you could only be on here until around 8 o'clock. So,
Look,
did you have any?
I could give it a few minutes. Like it's a good conversation. I could
Okay.
prolong it a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, it's just whenever you got to cut, just
I'll let y'all
Yeah.
know. Maybe like
let me know,
8, 10 at the most.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, just sort of like continuing the conversation. You said that there was a lot of support that you had seen from community, and that there was a lot of support that you saw from places that you even thought that might be unexpected. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, just to kind of maybe bring the mood up?
Right.
Because I mean, it's like horrible stuff that's happening, and like I don't want to like downplay that at all. But like I'm genuinely like touched by the fact that people are there, at least when this happens for people like you.
Exactly. Oh yeah. I'll go into that. So I don't know, man. Like I've been, as I've been growing as an adult, like I've just felt like, especially like this past year, like 2023, we've all been so individualized,
Mm-hmm.
and it, you know, I just did a lot of reflecting and all that, and even as a ummah, which like as a ummah of Islam, so like just the Muslim community and all that, like the broader everybody, we're all divided. Like that's part of like why it's happening in Palestine right now, right? Like if our like big brothers like Saudi Arabia and Yemen, or not Yemen, but you get the point. If the
Yeah.
bigger Middle Eastern countries that had a little more power, like really were helping us and stood with us, this all wouldn't be a problem. But we're divided, we're individualistic, and it comes down like it starts at the country level and it comes down to the personal level. So yeah, man, like that whole like 2023 again, just very individualistic, and just seeing all the support, like it's really getting me emotional. Like I didn't expect like a lot of people like this to reach out. I didn't expect like my brother's post went viral. It got more than like there's people with millions of followers that get like 60K views. Like it happened the other day. Like Omar Suliman, he made
Yeah.
a tweet. It only had like he was the number one guy I was like trying to reach because he has such a big audience. His tweet only got like 100K views. My brother, in half that time, got up to almost 2 million views right now on Twitter, and he has 100 followers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the power of like believing in God, having faith, and a little bit of luck maybe.
I think that there's, I mean, like when especially when it hits really, I mean, like you can understand that all of this horrible stuff is happening like
Right.
in Palestine all the time at the hands of the Israeli government. But I do think, at least when it comes to like the local part of it all, like when it hits close to home and like one of our people gets touched by that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we don't like when people mess with our people. Like that's just what it is, and we got to be there and have each other's back. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And like I guess that's a message I want to put out is like, man, for those staying silent, like y'all need to step up. Like this is your community. There's people that like I guess to get a little negative, like there's people that like I was very shocked that they didn't reach out, they didn't share anything. Like it's like, dude, like we're part of your community, like we're part of. So people need to step up, speak up. I know it's one thing I will say, it is very like deflating and it gets depressing to just kind of see all that content all the time. All those
Mhm.
kids dying, all those um women dying, all that rubble, just destroyed infrastructure. It's depressing. Like,
Destroyed
so
homes, yeah, just awful.
I tuned it out for a while. Like, not that I was ignoring it. I'd repost, but like I just wouldn't get on like in like any social media like that. Or I just like everyone's story. I just click through. Like, I'm not trying to see it because it's gonna get me upset. It's gonna get me whatever, and that goes into the desensitization. Like, we just
Yeah,
like, I'm not saying consume that content, but at least like be an advocate. At least speak up. Our government just needs to do better.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, with the time we have left is like a very humble ask of you and other people like you. Is just like to be patient with a lot of us who we don't know a lot about Palestine. We're not Muslims. We're not Arabs. We're not Palestinian. Because a lot of people have just gotten plugged into this, and even myself, who I'm like, I don't go a day without thinking about Palestine. Even before October 7th, I'm like, it's too much. It's just like I used to, Jeff would know. I'd be like, Jeff, have you
Hmm.
seen this Telegram post? Like, you see what they post and blah blah blah. But now I'm like, I don't even want to look at that. But now I'm just like, I kind of, I myself, I have to because of people like you and your mother. But just be patient with us because it's a lot for people to take
For
in.
sure, man. For sure, you're
It
right.
doesn't
You have
seem
a
real
very
if
good
you're not
point.
exposed to it, is what my sort of
Exactly.
thing is, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I really appreciate the time. Is there anything that you wanted to sort of like, where can people find, where can people find you if they wanted to drop you a line of support or anything like that?
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
you said
Yeah.
mentioned Instagram earlier.
Yeah, so the at handle right there is my Instagram, SuleimanHamid.7. Please follow me there. I honestly don't like getting all this attention, this and that. I was private my whole Instagram career, but I went public to broadcast this stuff. I'm not gonna let them get away with it. We're gonna broadcast it, we're gonna document it, and we're gonna have proof of their atrocities. Please follow me there.
Mhm.
And then also on Twitter, I'm trying to post there. I don't have as many followers there, but I'll throw it out there. Suleiman, spelled the same way, Suliman, 4L is the
Mhm.
Twitter handle. So yeah, please guys follow me there. And final thing I want to say too is just a list of demands that I've demanded from the US Embassy at the minimum, and we still have not gotten this. Is we want a phone call with my mother. We want to know her
Mm.
condition. We want the simplest things. We want to know what she's been charged with. Like, it's
Mhm.
ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that we haven't gotten this information yet from the US Embassy. Um, and I will say they actually, and again, this is news that just dropped right now. Like, they just reached out to me recently, just to ask for a list of her medications. And the only reason I think they did that was because they're scared that she's going to die in her custody. That means her health is starting to fail. She has a lot of illnesses. And again, when they kicked her in the ribs, it only made it worse. They got her on pain meds.
Horrible.
She used to be on pain meds because she got into a horrible accident like years and years ago. They got her back on that shit, and like, I'm just very upset with the whole thing. But yeah, man. So they did reach out. They did say they want a list of her medications, and we're working to get that out ASAP. And we're gonna provide these lists of demands. So at the minimum, just demand a phone call, her location, charges, and an immediate release. God willing, inshallah.
Yeah, sounds like you just want to know what's going on. So,
That's it, man. That's
appreciate
it.
you,
Yeah.
taking the time in the midst of all this for talking with us, and power and love to you, brother.